first to feel the change were those closest to the Earth. Before the sky darkens, the ground whispers its warning. Hunters, tuned to every vibration, felt the rhythm of the coming storm. The king of the valley felt a rival rising, a rival with no flesh and no fear. Above, the sky hunters watched a world they thought was stable. But the ground refused to stay silent. The smallest fled first, without knowing why. High above, the old mountains began to breathe again. What slept for ages had opened its eyes. Without warning, the sky turned against them. Even the greatest hunter knew when to retreat. Herbivores that once fought for leaves now fled side by side. The sky began to rain dust instead of light. Those who ruled the air found their kingdom poisoned. Those who ruled the air found their kingdom poisoned. Those who ruled the air found their kingdom poisoned. Those who ruled the air found their kingdom poisoned. They ran not from teeth or claws, but from a rising tide of fire and stone. Some still stole moments to feed, even as the world burned above them. They ran not from teeth or claws, but from a rising tide of fire and stone. Behind them, the mountains began to bleed. For the first time, the king's enemy was something it could not bite or break. Fire took its time, but it never stopped. Paths that once led to water now became escape routes. Quick wove through the chaos, guided by instinct alone. Even a titan found itself trapped by the shape of the world. For one moment, hunters and hunted all shared the same narrow road. Beyond the stone gate lay a valley, changed beyond recognition. Even the water turned against them. The sky, once their kingdom, became a maze of poisoned currents. The small tried only not to be stepped on by the great. For once, the hunter ran from something it could not ever defeat. The land reshaped itself while they watched. Those who once feared claws now feared the horizon. Every step hid a new danger. There was no place to stop for long. They all ran toward the only place that did not yet burn. Those who had something to protect ran hardest. Even lungs built for power strained under poisoned skies. The agile found ways across the fire. At the edge of the dying land, there was still a chance. Sky and Earth shared the same path now. Pain was a reminder, not a reason to stop.
The living map of the valley was rewriting itself with every step.
Prey and predators alike had no time for anything but survival.
Behind them lay a world that would never return. The mountains had traded silence for fury.
Each step upward felt like pulling free from the Earth's burning grasp.
Those who could see the most understood how much had been lost. Those who rose above the fire now followed the only path that led away from it. On the ground, the slow and the swift shared the same fragile road. They remembered the fire behind them, but refused to look for long.
There is nothing left to hunt in a dead valley.
At last, the air did not burn their lungs. It had left behind everything it ruled, stepping into a world that owed it nothing. Hunger still called, but fear had not yet loosened its grip.
Returning to their nature, they tested the land that had not yet betrayed them.
Where the water still moved, life stubbornly clung to the current.
For a brief moment, the world of ground and sky moved as one tide, flowing away from death.
Its body carried the scars of old battles, but its mind remembered the fire most of all.
Once rivals for the same plants, they now shared only the relief of still being alive.
The Earth tried to grow again, even as its survivors were not yet ready to notice. For the first time since the mountains woke, they paused long enough to drink. Even armor needed calm waters.
The pack never truly relaxed, not even at the water's edge.
Behind them, the world that raised them had become a grave. At the border of ruin and renewal, the smallest life returned first. It stood between what was lost and what could still be found.
The hunters needed something solid beneath them. Anything not moving, not burning.
Beneath the ash, the old colors of the world still existed. Beneath the ash. Night approached a land that no longer looked like the morning that birthed it.
Even the restless needed to fold in on themselves, if only for a moment.
The giant did not sleep, not full. It only stopped moving. For the first time since the mountains exploded,
Silence had weight again.
Water remembered fire, collecting its dust and its reflection. Some slept without knowing the world had almost ended.
The fire had not taken everything, but it had taken enough to change all that remained.
Tomorrow, the hunt would return. But this night belonged to memory.
A new day rose over a changed world.
They had outrun the worst of the fire, but not the memory of it. The sky did not belong to them alone, but it welcomed them back. Old rules would return, because they were written deeper than the fire.
The king would hunt again, not from cruelty, but because that was how this world continued.
On this ancient planet, the fire had spoken, but the story belonged to those who survived it.